How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here in Vegas. We are here for Sema. We're only going to be here for today, sadly. Mammy does have work tomorrow, but we did drive the Corvette out last night, and this is a great road trip car. We got seat warmers, we have plush seats. Honestly, no complaints with the Corvette, and we could have probably got here on one tank of gas. However, with the E-blend, definitely did bring it down a little bit, but yeah, she's a trooper. However, she's very dirty, and I do not want to go to Sema with a dirty ass car. So first things first, we're gonna go to a car wash, then we're gonna grab some breakfast, and then we're gonna head over to Sema. It is like 40 degrees out and windy, so my hair is gonna be messed up today. A lot of people like making fun of my hair. It is what it is. Make fun of my cars, not my hair. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop in the Corvette. God, she is just covered in dirt. And let's go ahead and warm her up. Ooh, sounds great. While the car is warming up, this will be my first time at Sema ever. So I don't know what to expect. Hopefully we can get through most of it in one day because we are only here for today. So we got to keep it moving when we're there. A couple of my buddies are here, so hopefully we can link up with them as well. We'll just have to see. It's going to be a very busy day, non-stop stuff. So we'll just have to play it by ear. All right, car looks much better. Let's go grab breakfast and let's head to Sema. All right, so we're walking to the event. She's freezing her ass off. It is really cold. It is probably 52 degrees out right now. So I got on the car last night just to see how it would hook with the factory tires. Didn't hook, was 42 degrees out. So I'm blaming it on that. All right, so we just tried to get in. We got through security and then they asked to see our badges, which since we registered last minute, we don't have. We have to go to the media center, which means we have to walk all the way to the other side. The email that they sent me didn't say where it was, so I had to call like 5 different people to try to locate it. And I think we located it, and now we just gotta walk all the way to the other side. So far, not so good. All right, I activated noise canceling for this because it is really loud out, but this car has been all over TikTok and everyone's been hyping it up. We got a Lamborghini swap twin turbo setup. However, that's not what this is. First of all, this car cannot run. This car did not get here driving. There's nothing hooked up under here. And if you actually look, it's an LS. This is not a running vehicle right now. The oil drains and feeds just go straight to the floor. Throttle bodies are not plugged in, no vacuum lines on the wastegate. Fuel rail isn't even connected. I mean, this thing is literally all show, no go. That, and it's on some JNCs with a fake carbon fiber wing. I mean, it's like somebody is literally trolling me with this car right now because it's everything that you want to see, but none of the stuff that you want to see is actually working. Oh, and to top it all off, we have some China turbochargers on there. So I do think it's obviously a work in progress and one day it might run. However, it's definitely not anytime soon. And I don't get the whole logic of putting Lamborghini intake manifolds on an LS. That is most definitely an LS. There's probably a hand more reasons why this thing will not run, but yeah, for now, that's about it. So you guys just heard the 2,000 horsepower Danru GTR start. Honestly, I mean, dude, it just sounded like a straight pipe 350Z, not even a 370Z. Honestly, I mean, it was a little underwhelming. 2,000 horsepower is pretty weak. If we go to the interior, he's got one seat. You couldn't even afford a second seat. You got 2,000 horsepower and you claim to be like super fast, but you'd be a little bit faster if you could afford 2 seats in here. That being said though, it's cool and all, you know, 2,000 horsepower is 2,000 horsepower. However, I just remember at Texas 2K, I think the fastest thing there was a Mustang. So right behind that though is Boosted Lucky's gigantic Hellcat monster machine right here. I thought I had some meat on the rear. Jesus Christ. You can see he doesn't do a whole lot of driving because he still has the little rubber nipples still on. Parachutes on both these cars, they've probably never even been pulled. Do these guys even like race? I don't know. I think this thing was pretty underwhelming at Texas 2K. So hopefully this year he'll have some better luck. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I should have just brought my Mustang here just to teach these two a lesson. And this would be the only time we'd ever see the rear end of these cars. The rest of the time, we're on the track, they'd be in the rear view. It just blows me away that like somebody chose to spend their money on this. Like, should have just bought a Lambo at that point. Obviously, I'm joking. Both very fast and respectable guys in the car scene. I feel like I have to say that because people probably think I'm serious when I talk shit. I am not. I actually just got done speaking with Dan Rue, and he told me to just flame his shit up. I'm waiting to meet Boosted Lucky. He's probably walking around. Congratulations on him for having his first child. So I'm excited to meet him. Mammy is also very excited to meet him, so we'll have to see when he comes. Now, you guys know me. I'm not a huge C8 Corvette guy, but full wide body, full carbon fiber C8 Corvettes, well, now you got me talking. And this whole car is 100% carbon fiber. This one has some nice paint in the clear coat, so in certain lightings it looks really just dark and carbon fiber, and in other lightings you got that like chameleon look. Like if you look right here, I mean, it just looks black, but then if we go and we shift, and now we're getting a lot of purples and stuff. This is a beautiful C8 Corvette. I wonder if it is a Z06 or if it is just a base C8. I'm guessing base C8 just based on where the exhausts are coming out for both of them, but still full carbon fiber, MV forged wheels. This is a very expensive set of wheels. I would know because I had some on my McLaren. But yeah, this is one thing I could definitely get behind. However, I have a feeling the kit is probably, you know, an arm and a leg in your firstborn child. So take that with a grain of salt.
So this was my first time at SEMA, and there was no way I could have just filmed this all on the spot. There was way too much to take in. So let me go ahead and just break down some of these really cool builds that we saw. First one we saw inside was this amazing GNX right here. Shout out Kendrick Lamar. This is a twin turbo variant, obviously not a 6-cylinder anymore as well. I'm going to try to limit how much I can say this is a clean car throughout the whole episode, because every car I pretty much show is clean. There are a few stinkers, but you'll see, for the most part, these are all clean cars. A brief fact about the Grand National: when it was originally released, it was faster than the Corvette, but they couldn't advertise it as that because then that would bring the Corvette down in sales. The interior is very tastefully updated. We have a digital display, all new stitching and fabric. It looks like this thing rolled off of some alternate universe's showroom floor. We then ran into this BMW, which is a V12 swapped, supercharged, all-wheel drive BMW. This thing is an absolute monster. We have center lock wheels. You can see the centrifugal superchargers right there. This thing is just, somebody one day was smoking it up really good and said, dang, someone should do this, and then he took it upon himself to do it. Absolutely insane car right here. This thing should not exist, and yet it does. That's the beauty of SEMA. You're going to see a whole lot of stuff that you can't even imagine existing, and yet it is sitting right in front of you. Can't wait to go back next year. But this was one of the gnarliest race cars I think I saw. And this car looks like it's actually driven. We stopped by the Toyo booth. So these are all Toyo sponsored vehicles. We had this E36 M3. We have ITBs. It is a V8 swap, tucked harness. I don't know where the hood is. I do think we should show off that pretty motor, but I think a hood would also look nice as well. Not something you think to see every day. A full gray interior definitely was a little different, but with the whole car and how clean it was, he definitely rocked that shit. And it made it that much just more different. It wasn't the cookie cutter black interior. This CRX was pretty wicked as well. You could see the cage peeking through, giant chassis mounted wing. We have some 1550 wheels, full wide body with a J-swap, turbo J-swap underneath the hood. Twin turbo J-swap. It just keeps getting better. The more you look at the car, the better it is. No filters though. I expect to see filters, especially at SEMA. This can't go unnoticed. Need to run a filter, everyone. Stay safe. BMWs were definitely probably the most popular chassis to build at SEMA this year. This is an older E30 with a V8 swap, looks like a LS of some sort. ITBs, front bumper dumps, crazy stance, wide body. Everything is just super detail oriented. I mean, you could literally probably break down this car in a full episode, and yet we just have to rush through it because we have so many more cars to get through. But we have the cooling all in the rear, tucked away, a forced permanent convertible. I don't think this thing is going to be seeing any rain, so nothing to worry about there. Next up, we have Toyo Tires Porsche 911 wide body. The reason I say Toyo Tires, you got this nice blue exterior paint with HRE wheels, and then you look into the interior and you got the orange to contrast it. If there is one car that could pull it off, it's probably this Porsche 911. I don't think your mama's Honda Civic can pull off a blue and orange color scheme, so let's keep it a buck here. Also very detailed in the engine bay as well. More ITBs. I feel like one of the requirements to be at the Toyo booth was ITBs and velocity stacks. So I bet all of these cars sound wicked at wide open throttle. Now this probably is the funkiest car I've ever seen. Like, look at this thing. It looks like something out of Speed Racer. I'm not going to sit here and say I like it, because I don't. It's just got a whole lot of shit going on. It doesn't look comfortable to drive. It doesn't look fun to drive, but I can appreciate it for what it is. You got these double bubble windshields, which are interesting. Obviously no roof. You have this split window rear with a gigantic, oddly shapen wing. It is an interesting car, to say the least. Not my style, but I could respect all of the time and money that someone put into this. That just goes to show, though, money doesn't buy taste. Anyways, hey, look, another car with ITBs. Of course. I wonder if that Mercedes had ITBs. Highly doubtful. However, God, this one is just super minty. This paint, the fender mounted mirrors, the wheel and fitment, everything was good up until I saw the side skirts. The side skirts are just, it look like something off of OfferUp. I don't know what happened here. It needs a little bit more body work or something. Regardless, though, you have real expensive carbon fiber seats, all of this custom leather in the interior. Not something you would expect to see. However, personally, I'm not a huge fan of the way they did the wide body. It just looks like a bench, like sticking off the side. Doesn't flow with the body real well. Like, I think you guys can see it. It's kind of awkwardly just sticking out. One of my favorite cars at the Toyo booth was this R33 GTR. Of course, we got the RB26 twin turbo setup underneath the hood, while the bells and whistles looks very pretty. Then we have the carbon fiber wide body. Oh, my bad. Let me correct myself. Full carbon fiber wide body. Everything on this car is carbon fiber. And look at, he painted over it, guys. You don't have to leave it exposed. He did this really cool fade towards the rear so you guys could kind of see. But this just goes to show, guys, when you get carbon fiber, sometimes it looks better to paint it. If this car was all carbon fiber, yeah, it would be cool, but it looks a hell of a lot better with this cool custom fade going down the side. Super 6 stands, looks very aggressive, and it's also very tastefully done. This might have been the only 300ZX at the event. This was also in the Toyo booth. It had an LS3 swap because let's keep it a buck here. Nissans aren't known for the best reliability. You know what is? A junkyard LS. That ain't no junkyard LS, but you get what I'm saying. You can go get one and replace it. He also did a suede dash, racing seats with harness, wide body. It looks like it's set up to drift. This car is far too clean to drift, though, unless you're a professional. The color it was wrapped as well was just beautiful. And personally, this car was able to rock the wide body just a bit better than that earlier Skyline. We've all seen TJ Hunt's RB swapped Mustang, but what about an RB swapped Cobra? This was very interesting to see. Gigantic single turbo guard as well, good boy. We had some Rotera brakes, we have 3-piece wheels. This thing, I think he said, makes about 600 horsepower and weighs like 23 or 2,500 pounds. Some ridiculous aggressive power to weight ratio. Probably an absolute death trap if we're actually being real. Like, you thought your Honda with a single turbo B series was fast. This is just a cheat code to beat most cars on the road. However, you will risk not reaching the age of 30. We eventually found our way over to the Mopar booth where we saw this EV swapped Dodge. Why would you do that? This thing is screaming for a big block. It's saying, help me. Somebody buy me, please, and throw a big block in me, please. I can't do this. I don't even know when I'm turned on or not. This is the wackest shit ever. EV swap. Like, look at that. Look how depressing that looks in the trunk. What is this? A science project or a race car? I did, however, get to get a good look at the new Dodge Challenger Charger thingy. I don't know what they're calling this thing. In person, it looks just as depressing as it does on camera. Like, there are some cool things I do like about it. Now, don't hit the unsubscribe button just yet. I'm not going to say the electric power plant, but it's got center lock wheels, which is interesting. And the rear end I do think looks pretty cool. And I think my personal favorite thing, and hopefully I was able to capture it on camera, was it has 4 bucket seats, which is cool. So the front and rear seats are full buckets, and they look pretty dope. I don't know if you can see it on camera that well, but the paint was also really nice. That's about it for compliments. I'm not going to compliment it past that. It's an electric Dodge Challenger Charger thingy-majigger. I don't like it. And I know we've all heard the exhaust clips of this car. Depressing. Hey, bro, what exhaust system you got in this thing? JBL or Bose? I'm going to end myself. Anyways, we saw some real old school muscle right here. We have a Dodge Charger RT with a modern day Hemi swap. Surprising it's not a Hellcat swap, but honestly, I think this makes it a bit more fun probably to drive because it's a lot more classic feeling. Like, you would just toast the tires off of this thing with a Hellcat swap. I think this is probably a lot more of an authentic experience, and you still get the modern day luxuries. This car is absolutely immaculate. They really cared back then about all of the minor details when it came to designing these cars. And when you look at this compared to modern day cars, it's just a night and day difference. They don't care as much anymore. It's sad, but I get it. Everything's about making money, and you can't make money wasting time about details. Right behind BMWs on being the most popular chassis at SEMA this year, I think was the Cybertruck. Now, the Cybertrucks were very boring. They range from different wheels to different wraps, and that's about it. This one had a lowrider theme going on, and it was the most interesting one, I would say. He had the multi-spoke wheels, the super lowrider styled graphics. Again, it was cool, but you're just dressing up a giant refrigerator as something that it's not. Like, if this was done on an old Chevy pickup, it would be much harder. Walking through one of the halls, we started to find all of the supercars, and this 720 was absolutely gorgeous with this Golf wrap. Holy smokes. I thought my marble wrap looked cool. This is a 10 out of 10. If I could buy another McLaren down the road, it'll probably be like a 720 or 600 LT because these things just look like absolute spaceships. They've been out for a few years now, and they still look like absolute spaceships. The color combination too of the Golf wrap, oh my god, whoever cooked that up, they were cooking Chef Boyardee style, Gordon Ramsay style when they made that color scheme. Beautiful. We stopped by probably my favorite booth of the day, which was the MV Forged booth. We got the F40 right here on MV Forged wheels, a Nazatech wrap. It's a tannish color. It's hard to see on camera. It looks more white, but it's definitely like a tannish cream color, and it's beautiful in person. These cars just look like full-fledged race cars all day, every day. I think I show into the engine bay back here, and it's beautiful. I mean, it looks like a nightmare to work on, but God, man, like, look at just, you could see everything. And it's just a car guy's wet dream being able to see all of the exposed pipe like that. If I ever am blessed enough to take a ride in one of these, God, it would be something to remember for the rest of my life. They also had a Lamborghini Revolto there with this crazy swan neck wing and all of this crazy lighting. When I said MV Forge had the best booth, I wasn't lying, and we ain't even done yet. The color scheme is absolutely beautiful as well. We have this really deep, like, green MV Forged wheels with the red accents on the interior and the brake calipers. One critique is this car definitely does look like something out of GTA, and that's not MV Forge's fault. That's Lamborghini's fault. It looks like they stole a GTA car and just made it in real life. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I just don't know if I could get behind driving around a fake-looking Lamborghini. Bruh. They also had a Ferrari F12 in their booth. Heavy hitters, 2 Italian beasts right next to each other. This one is wrapped in a matte black, more MV Forged wheels. We got the polished look as well. He went with blue accents, which I'm a little on the fence about. On one hand, that's probably more blue than I can ever afford. On the second hand, might be a little too much blue. However, he can probably afford to redo it at any point. And it's his car, not mine. Let the man cook. Also in their booth was a full carbon fiber Lamborghini Aventador, also on MV Forged wheels, with their aero discs as well. Those are some things that I wish I got on my McLaren wheels when I had them. He also has the blue interior as well. It is a good color scheme. At least it works better on this SV. But I think at the same time, the Aventador is just a much more aggressive looking car. Like Ferraris look more elegant, Lamborghinis look like they want to rip your face off. The exhaust tips on this Aventador were also very interesting. They just remind you not to lose your 10mm socket because they look like giant 10mm. But yeah, I think they had the most money in their booth by a long shot. Behind the Aventador was this Rolls Royce, slammed to the floor, gigantic MV forged wheels. You see, you got the honeys swarming your car. They see the pink interior. They see the MV forged wheels. They just want to know who the owner is. So go out there and buy some MV forged wheels. All right, wrapping up the end of day one, we saw a DeLorean. This one actually looks like it runs, not like the fake Ferrari swapped one that I didn't throw in this video, but we got a Back to the Future themed DeLorean. I actually have a Lego replica of this car. I really do like the Back to the Future movies. I think they're absolutely classic. If you haven't seen them, go watch them. I don't know how you wouldn't have seen them by now. They're older movies, but they're great, and their rewatchability is infinite. The detail on this car is very nice too. Definitely looks like the car from the movie, and it really looks like my Lego figure as well. Here is the famous RB swapped Mustang as well. The detail, the craftsmanship, 10 out of 10. I don't think anyone can do it cleaner than this. You have the HRE wheels with the near perfect fitment. You have the perfect paint color scheme. It was dope as hell to see this car in person. Doing a quick walkthrough of the compensation lot. I'm at the truck lot. I wasn't really interested in looking at the domestic violence cars, so I didn't. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a couple trucks here and there. This Tacoma was pretty rad. It was tall as shit, but like all the trucks kind of come down to is who can put their shit the highest with the most rubber band tire out there. I wasn't really interested in that. This Raptor was pretty dope though, but that's about it. Anyways, as we were making our way to the exits, we saw this Mark V Supra with a wide body kit, and I think this was one of the only Mark V Supras we saw there. I know there was one in the Toyota booth with a Street Hunter kit, but this one was outside surprisingly, and this one I definitely think should have been in someone's booth because it was clean as hell. We had some crazy cage work on the inside. The wrap and just whole aero kit on this car fit it perfectly. Definitely an underrated car outside. We also saw this S650, which definitely motivated Mammy, which is why she bought more car parts, and you guys probably already saw that video. It had GTD style fenders, a GTD style hood, which is kind of interesting with the whole TJ Hunt lawsuit going on. How come these people are allowed to make replica parts? Anyways, this one was a dark horse. I think he could have wrapped a little bit more of it because there was a lot of exposed black and a lot of exposed carbon. There's a more tasteful way to do it. Overall, though, still a very clean Mustang. And then last but not least, the king himself, the R34 GTR. Everybody and their mama was looking at this car. The paint, immaculate. The fitment, immaculate. It's crazy to think that this is, you know, a 30-year-old Nissan, and it's probably $300,000+, if not more, maybe $500,000, depending on miles and spec and history. It's just crazy. Prices of these cars are absolutely ridiculous. But, I mean, for decently good reason. It's a very popular car, it's a rare car, and it's a really sick and iconic, capable vehicle. Hopefully one day the prices on these go down and I can eventually own one. However, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Mark my words, though. I will try one day. Anyways, that was day one of SEMA. I know this video came out rather late, and I apologize for that. It was a daunting task to go through and voice over all of this stuff because there's just so much stuff I want to say about each car, and I have to limit it because I can't have an hour-long video. Anyways, it was super fun to hang out with my friends down there. Day 2 will be posted soon. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, and until next video, peace.